This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Hey guys, welcome to the WWE Podcast. After that Saturday night main event show, it seems to be about what we expected. Many of you aren't really surprised by the outcomes, and it's, again, a kind of a show that mimicked the last one. Not a lot of surprises. I think some quality wrestling in there. Some fun moments, but ultimately it was exactly what we had imagined that Saturday night main event would be, and that's not a complaint. Saturday night main event is establishing its identity as something in between a PLE and a typical televised show, one that has title matches on it, although most televised shows do, unfortunately, too, but one that also has quality matches, longer matches, fewer matches, which really follows the same template as a regular PLE, except not a lot of returns or big angles. It's just a continuation of what's going on. It feels much like a stopgap in the way to an actual PLE. And with the Royal Rumble 6 days away, this did feel very much just like in some ways, a big promotion for the Rumble, especially with the KO Cody segment that had Shawn Michaels there, which, I mean, even that segment, while it wasn't wrestling heavy, it wasn't anything that was earth-shattering either. Having Shawn Michaels there in San Antonio did make sense, given he's from San Antonio, and having him be the hometown favorite or hometown hero was fine for Kevin Owens to be able to play off of, and we'll get into that segment a little bit later too. So, as we get into Rumble season, or really get into the Rumble itself in just under a week, man, it's going to be so much fun. You can join us over at Patreon. Get yourself an ad-free experience over there at patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Go to also Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Spotify has an Apple or an ad-free experience as well. I know some of you who have said and commented, "Oh, I'm on Apple, I'm on Spotify Premium, and I still have ads." Well, you have to subscribe to my feed separately. I don't think it's just a cover. It covers all feeds with just your premium subscription to Spotify. So that's, I believe, how it works, although I'm not a guru when it comes to the Spotify podcast feed. So do your research, but I'm almost positive that you have to subscribe separately, because that feed from Patreon feeds into my Spotify feed. So take that for what it's worth as well. So, alrighty. Well, time to get going here. Let's talk about Saturday night's main event, as, again, comes to you from San Antonio. And the show started off with a shot of the building, and Jey Uso shown walking backstage, Gunther shown walking in another part of the building. And then we have Jesse Ventura and Joe Tessitore check in from a platform that was on the main floor. So Jesse Ventura seems to be maybe a mainstay from here on out. And we have Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. Boy, this was 9 minutes and 25 seconds. This match, to me, I would say might have been maybe Nia Jax's best match ever. Now, of course, I haven't seen her untelevised show, non-televised matches. I haven't seen maybe every single match that she's had on television, although the majority of them. I think this may have been Nia Jax's best match. Now, you have a lot of that to thank for Rhea, who is one of the stronger women in the company, and she's able to maneuver the body weight of Nia Jax a little bit better than most. So her matches are going to be a little bit different than if she was, say, facing Liv Morgan, right? A little bit different dynamic. So that certainly helps, but they work so well together. If Rhea and Nia were to continue the program, I mean, I really wouldn't be sad about it. I don't think they are, But this was a fun match. Not that the outcome was ever in doubt or who was going to win. That was never something I was worried about. But this was a 9-minute and 25-minute match that I think elevated both women. Despite the fact Nia lost, she was elevated in this. So let's go through some of it. We have 90 seconds in. Jax hit the Samoan drop from the middle rope and covered Ripley for a 2 count. And then Jax avoided a prism lock and put Ripley down with a Uranagi slam. Ripley went up for Riptide, but she collapsed under the weight of Nia Jax. And then we have, it led to a 1 count, by the way. Jax went back to the ropes, hit the Annihilator, went and then back to the rope for another and played to the crowd, which allowed Rhea to sneak under her and hit the electric chair slam and then hit Riptide, which it was as good of a Riptide as you could have expected given the body weight of Nia Jax, who is, I mean, if she's got to be pushing 270, 260. I mean, she's, that's my guess, 250, 260, somewhere in that range. So she's, in a lot of cases, double the weight of the women. Ripley obviously is not over the 250 mark, but she is certainly much stronger, which again helped out with the dynamic here. And having Rhea Ripley also only use one finish, that's original. That, boy, isn't it nice when one finish ends the match for at least Riptide being protected? So, you know, applause to both women here. I think it was well done. All right. We then have Sheamus and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Both men ended up at ringside. Sheamus ran, jumped off the steps, and was speared by Breaker a few minutes into the match. That's got to hurt. I mean, there's no way to do that and not make it hurt. There's just no way. How can you do that? So, damn. You knew this is going to be a very physical match, and boy, was it. This was fun. So Ventura complained that the referee counted to 3 and then saw the foot on the rope. This is as Breaker put his foot on the bottom rope from the brogue kick. That was a fun false finish. Sheamus set up for a brogue kick again, but was selling the ribs. And then moments later, Breaker speared and pinned Sheamus in 11.5 minutes to retain the Intercontinental title. I thought this match was actually going to be a little bit longer, 15 minutes, 16 minutes. It doesn't seem like that much longer. What the heck's 5 more minutes? But in wrestling land, 5 minutes can be an eternity. And I think these two did a really nice job putting together a match that they could in 11 minutes. Breaker has kind of fallen off a little bit in recent weeks, and it was nice to get him back on the in the minds of fans. And same with Sheamus, who's been just kind of there. Had legacy star floating around, still doing good and having really good matches, and having him back and having these two work together is fun. I don't know if they're going to be, colliding again. I don't think so. It should be at this point all hands on deck for the Royal Rumble. All focus should be on the Royal Rumble. That to me is where they're headed. I don't know though if the Intercontinental Championship is going to be on the line at the Royal Rumble. I'll have to check on that if there's any kind of changes there. From what I'm seeing, and I'm going to look at the card here. So yeah, we do have Cody Rhodes, obviously, and Kevin Owens for the ladder match. The men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble. We do have the only other match, which is the Tag Team Championships DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns in a 2 out of 3 falls match. That's it. Sure, some matches could be added tomorrow night on Raw. You could have a last-minute match be put together on SmackDown. You could, I guess, the night before, although I wouldn't advise it, given there's not a lot of hype. But this could end up being your final card. There may not be anything else. So the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, of which has really gone in hiding since Shinsuke took it. They've also done that to Shinsuke when he was Intercontinental Champion a number of years ago. I don't know what it is. I mean, when Shinsuke gets a belt, they don't do anything with him. They just give him the belt and they're like, hey, attaboy. We're going to keep you off TV for several weeks or put you on TV with meaningless programs. I don't know what the hell it is. And Shinsuke came back as this dark character and then wins the U.S. title, and now he's just like, just kind of MIA. It's weird. I mean, Again, not that he's totally absent from TV, but just he doesn't feel important. So we also have Logan Paul returning. I'm sure he'll enter the Rumble. But those are the only matches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 matches. That's it. Granted, the women's and men's Royal Rumble matches themselves take up an hour plus, video packages. You're looking at a total, when all is said and done, for men's and women's Royal Rumble matches, probably like 2.5 hours total. So there's 2.5 hours. You add Kevin and Cody, there's 20, 25 minutes. There's nearly 3. The DIY, that may take 10, 12, 15 minutes. So even if they keep this as is, given there's only 4 matches and 2 matches that aren't the Rumble matches, time-wise, it kind of fits, and I don't know if they'll add anything. They probably won't, and that's okay. I'm fine with that, given the time. I'm all for shorter PLEs. All right. So, Ventura rambling about the match, after the match, about the referee making a 3 count was kind of distracting, by the way. I don't know if I didn't really like it, but Shawn Michaels comes out, and the crowd loved it, and stood in the ring for the contract signing, and always good to see HBK. It's always a fun time. Anytime HBK is on TV, it doesn't happen often. You gotta appreciate it. If you don't watch NXT, especially, it's always just. I mean, it's 2025, and we're still watching Sweet Chin music be delivered on our televisions. It's rare, but it's incredible that it's still happening. It's incredible. I mean, they're 12 years old when I started watching wrestling, and I saw Sweet Chin music, him and Bret Hart, him and The Undertaker, him and Triple H, whoever, go down the line. So I was 12 years old. Now I'm almost 40, and I'm still watching Sweet Chin music on my television. It's incredible. He's not in matches, I understand that, but I don't know, a little bit of a connect. Everybody's got their own personal connection to wrestling and what it meant to them and everything else, but kind of crazy. But so Kevin Owens was introduced by Shawn Michaels. Owens comes out wearing a Cody Sucks Eggs t-shirt, which was, it's just great. He brought the Winged Eagle Championship, and Cody Rhodes comes out, Mr. Company. They might as well just surgically insert a WWE flag in his ass. I mean, that's how much he waves the banner of the company unapologetically, which I understand you have to do, but he does it so overtly and sickeningly. It's really part of a lot of what turns me off from him is he's so worried about the company and being so nice to everyone. He even helped the referee who was struggling a little bit to put the belts on the hanger in front of the ladder. Like, he's so helpful, and he's not like most champions, and he's trying to humanize himself and does, like, I don't know. Just everything about he starts so slow, and he talks, and he likes to do this, and like I don't know. He's so produced. I understand that promos, generally the talent know what they're going to say before they go out, but he comes across like a WWE production. He doesn't come across like an authentic, in-your-face, kick-your-ass champion that I can relate to. I don't get it, guys. I mean, I understand his talent in the ring. I get all that. But I'll stop there. See, I'm stopping myself. I'm all for him turning heel. I'll continue to say that. Every time I'm on the show, I will continue to say that. Cody as a heel is very intriguing to me. I think we'll see it. Not soon, but we'll see it. So Michaels then told both men to be seated, and they were locking eyes, and Cody signed the contract. Owens looked at the contract and then took the mic and said Cody pissed him off on SmackDown when he said he always takes the easy way out. And Owens said he could have done that by taking Cody's knee at Bash in Berlin, but he didn't because he cared about their friendship more than Cody did. And Cody said, you need to focus on who you'll defend the championship against at WrestleMania. And Cody asked Owens to sign the contract. Owens teased, but dropped the pen and grabbed the mic. And Owens said he'll shut everyone up at the Rumble when he wins the championship. And once he does, everything that Cody's been getting, like the pyro and the face on all the production trucks and everything, that's going to go to him. Owens said he deserved it for the last 10 years, and he'll be taking that from Cody Rhodes. And HBK said, Kevin, you sound jealous. And Owens asked him to repeat what he said, and Michaels said, you seem jealous. And that's when Owens started to target Michaels and said he's just like Cody. When things got tough, he quit. Owens said he'd be bringing more pride to the Winged Eagle Championship than HBK ever did. That was a nice line. Owens said he'll give the fans a champion they can be proud of, not someone who loses his smile. Owens then signed the contract. Michaels said the only thing left to do was take the belts, put them above the ring, and Michaels wished both men good luck. Owens declined a handshake. Michaels extended his hand to Cody, who shook it. And then Cody was hit with a cheap shot by Owens. So Michaels scolded Owens, turned around. Owens spun Michaels towards him, kicked him, and set him up for a package pile driver. And Cody super kicked Owens before he could execute the move. And then Michaels hit Sweet Chin Music. Here's what I'll say. Was there any thought put into the fact that you are going to completely just mock Shawn Michaels' finish right before he delivers his finish? The Sweet Chin Music that used to mean so much when you get kicked in the jaw, that happens 46 times a show now in every match that everyone does all the time, which is a lot of times not even used as a false finish. It's just used as it has less effect than a punch. You see it almost no-sold half the time. And then you use that move from Cody right before Shawn delivers his, which apparently has a superhuman. He has a superhuman kick. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So kind of funny that Cody hit the super kick, which is symbolic of how overused and completely prostituted the Sweet Chin Music finish has been over the last 10 years. And then you have Shawn deliver it, which actually used to mean something. So anyway, Shawn hit Sweet Chin Music, which again, not a complaint. Certainly fun to see Sweet Chin Music. I always find that move extremely funny, or at least I used to. So Owens gets kicked out of the ring and is left humiliated. All right, so fun segment, and it's going to be a fun match. Him and Cody at the Rumble. It's going to be, I think, a very long match. I expect this match with Cody and Owens to last, again, 20 minutes, low 20s. And it deserves it. This program has been very well done. I have to give it to both men, especially Kevin Owens. Despite the fact that Kevin Owens is once again, for the umpteenth time, finding himself in a position where fans are saying, yeah, fun. We know you're ultimately not going to win, but fun, cool. You're having a blast. And it continues to be the position that Kevin is in. He is either fighting a champion that just won the championship, or they're heading into WrestleMania where they're not going to put the belt on Kevin. So the only chance of Kevin ever winning a belt is seemingly at SummerSlam, kind of in the middle, right? Because they just don't seemingly ever want to put Kevin in the top position. Now, is this latest success going to change their minds? I don't think so. Kevin's shown he can be a top guy. He could be the guy if they wanted to put him in that position. But they've anointed Cody, and the fans have agreed and concurred and really forced the issue last year. And now you have Kevin Owens in a position that he's having so much success in, and really, I think, carrying the brunt of this program in terms of getting the credit for its success. Cody absolutely should get credit too. I'm not belittling his part. He does his typical quality promos, and he's acting like the stand-up champion. He's playing a very, I gotta say, boring, albeit successful. So what do I know? Babyface that the fans somehow continue. Is there some kind of potion that is given by the gate attendees upon entry into WWE events where there's some kind of magic dust that everyone is inhaling? Are they putting something maybe in the HVAC system that's this unknown substance that just magically mesmerizes people for Cody Rhodes? What is it? You can't tell me this guy's relatable. What is it about him that's relatable? He lost someone. Okay, we all have. Okay, all of us have. That's not unique. It's not unique to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a guy that lost his dad. Okay, a lot of us haven't lost our dads. Some of us have. Like, okay, the bleach blonde hair. Outside of NSYNC from 2001, no one does that anymore. I'm not saying it's a bad look for him. It's just, that's not relatable. Most of us don't wear suits all day, right? Most of us don't wear suits seemingly in our sleep like Cody Rhodes does. I don't, what, he has a dog that he likes to bring around every once in a while that we're supposed to just ooh and ah at, that, wow, he has a dog. I have a dog. Wow, this guy's cool. Is it literally that elementary? I don't understand it. I'm actually trying to, without emotion, break down the psychology of why people like Cody Rhodes. I don't know. I don't get it. He's really good in the ring, but so are a lot of other guys. I mean, really, there's nobody that's bad in the ring. Do you know what I mean? There's nobody on the roster that you'd go, oh my God, they're horrible. That doesn't exist anymore. It's a prerequisite that you're capable of 4 to 5 star matches. Not that you deliver it all the time, but you're capable of it. If you don't wrestle that certain type of wrestling anymore, like today, the way that I would refer to it as like a gymnastics infused style of professional wrestling, where less selling, more registering, more high flying, faster, which I don't like, but that's the style today, and it is what it is. Like, that's, if you can't do that, you're not going to be on TV. So it doesn't impress me that he's good in the ring. He is very good in the ring, and I think he's even better than most. But even at Baseline, where the people who aren't as good as him are still really good. So that, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm really, truly perplexed by this, how people are cheering for him. Outside of this program with Kevin Owens, too, by the way, what program has Cody Rhodes been involved in that has really grabbed you since he won at WrestleMania 40? What's another one? Tell me. Somebody tell me. Solo? I mean, what's a program that Cody's been... To me, up until this point for Cody Rhodes, it's been kind of a snooze fest of a run. Not a bad run. Not a damaging run. Not an embarrassing run. Just kind of blah. It's like, okay, he's there. Nothing really inspiring. Nothing that makes you feel like he's pushing forward. He just kind of flatlined after he won. Granted, he flatlined at a high level of success. No doubt. Again, just somehow you guys have continued, and I say you guys as the collective, those of you that support Cody in terms of this character. But I don't know. I've been uninspired up until lately, and that's mostly due to Kevin Owens. So that's why I'm giving him most of the credit. Because it feels like he's been the combination for Cody that has really ignited his character a little bit from an otherwise slumber since April of 24. That's how I would categorize his run. It's just been kind of a slumber, a hibernation, like not a tank, not a roller coaster ride, just there. And you kind of go to sleep. I mean, I don't know. That's how I felt. Now, is it a little bit influenced, of course, by my dislike for his character? Probably. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but I don't know. All right, let's continue on before I go in circles. Fatu and Strowman. This match, okay, let's talk about this. 9 minutes. I actually thought I called 9 minutes, but I said, maybe they'll do more. And they didn't, but 9 minutes is about right when you think about it, given the style of these two. And it ended with Strowman beating Fatu by disqualification in 9 minutes. I mean, this is clearly a finish that tells you that this program's not over. And I think the fans loved it. And what did I tell you? There'd be a lot of Fatu chants, and what did we get? Bam. I'm not saying I am Nostradamus when it comes to pro wrestling. I'm certainly not. I'm wrong more than I'm right. But you kind of can see the writing on the wall here. fans have sniffed out a potential future big star. And when they do that, even if you're a heel, they want to get behind you. They want to be on the ground floor. They want to be able to say that, they're a part of something. They see something, and it's new. Like Fatu, he's had a presence since day one with the Bloodline. Since he came in, he felt bigger almost than Solo in some ways. So, I have no issue here with how it ended. And I feel like Strowman has been kind of involved in this same kind of programs as of late. I mean, you saw the same thing with Bronson Reed, who I hope, by the way, makes his return at the Rumble. We'll see. I do miss Bronson Reed. He was really on a roll there. So hopefully he'll be an entrant, a surprise return at the Rumble. But it feels like a Strowman Bronson Reed, except even more violent with the internal bleeding and the moonsaults, which he's just, my God, he's so good at. And I also like how Fatu, much in the way Kevin Owens' body is not your typical, carved out of stone physique. That's not what we got here. I mean, Fatu is a guy that, if he took off his shirt, I mean, yeah, you kind of know what's under there, but who cares? I like that. The appearance of Fatu feels more organic, that he's not chiseled out of stone. Guys like that can oftentimes make it, not all the time. You see some stars that are just, go down the list: Hogan, Savage, Rock Austin, Triple H. They've all been, look at their physiques in their prime, my God. But it's nice when you see these physiques every once in a while. It's a nice change of pace. Not saying that's the reason for his success, but as part of the whole package, he feels like a killer, a total killer. They have put him over in a way that, when's the last time you saw Braun Strowman get handled like that? Bloody Braun Strowman. It was just awesome. The hip attacks were kind of weak, I have to say. The 6 hip attacks, meh. Kind of lame there. Not all of them looked good. But Cole played up that Strowman didn't know where he was. The referees checked on Strowman, blocked Fatu from hitting another hip attack, and then Fatu tossed the referee out of the ring and hit 2 more. The referee called for the bell, and then Fatu grabbed a chair. Security ran out. Fatu threw a chair at the head of security. And then Nick Aldis, producers and security guards, entered the ring. Strowman had blood coming out of his mouth and was still down. He shoved the producers. Tama Tonga backed Fatu in the corner. Medics came down. Fatu kept coming back. This was obviously not about wins and losses. This was about Jacob Fatu and establishing who and what he is and what he's capable of moving forward. That's what this is. That's what this was about. And is he going to be world champion in 2025? Probably not this year. I don't think. But, is he already not a front runner for maybe the 2026 Royal Rumble? I know it's a year ahead, but given the booking and how things are building and who's likely to be champion over the next year and WrestleMania title changes, Fatu could absolutely be Intercontinental U.S. title holder for the next, at WrestleMania he could win, but I'm saying the top belts are probably reserved for him in 2026 if things continue on this trajectory. So not easy to continue on this trajectory either. It's kind of this thing's burning hot with Fatu right now. But if I was WWE, and rightfully so, they should check to see what's real here. Is this real? Is this a real? How long is this going to last from the crowd? Because oftentimes fans get on, they lose their attention. Their attention span is, given today's culture, our attention spans are very low with everything, technology and news constantly in your face. And that goes against a lot of times being able to continually support someone in wrestling, I think, because you have to pay attention to that person. You don't want to, you try to resist moving on to the next shiny object, the next new guy. So WWE is probably going to test fans as we move forward to see, is this just the shiny new object syndrome, or is this a true connection that they're growing with Fatu in? And they're going to find out. So don't expect him to win the world title anytime soon. IC, US title, sure. That's in the discussion for WrestleMania for him. But expect Strowman and Fatu to just, continue this. It's going to be fun. All right. So we then have Gunther and Jey Uso. This match, 16 minutes, 40 seconds. We know the outcome here with Gunther winning. But we already knew that, didn't we? We knew that. We knew that was coming. We knew Gunther wasn't going to lose here. It was about elevating Jey in a loss. And I think they did that. I think that, but also, having a decisive win for Gunther. And I think they achieved that too. I still would actually like to have Gunther more dominant than he is. I don't need every champion being taken to the limit by their opponent all the time. I understand that helps the loser win in the loss, if you know what I mean. But there are times when you just need to put over the champion and do it in a way that is not a squash, but is very dominant looking. Remind people what that person's capable of. And I think Gunther needs a couple of those matches in the coming weeks. Now, yes, Royal Rumble's coming. I understand. When you look at the Rumble, it doesn't appear he has any kind of any entrance in the. Well, he may have an entry in the Rumble, but he doesn't have a match for the world title. But there's no chance he's going to win. There's no chance he's going to win the Rumble if Gunther's in it. He'll be there for spots and moments and stare downs for the other opponents. But if he is able to get into the Rumble, there's no chance of him winning, obviously, given his position already as world champion. Anyway, so this was a really good match. Both men traded blows at the beginning. We have Jey run off an offense that had a hip attack, a 2 count, Gunther back to his feet. He then joined Jey on the ropes for a superplex. Jey blocked it. Jey then slipped under Gunther and then executed a sit-down powerbomb for a near fall. Gunther kicked Jey in the gut, went for a powerbomb, but Jey took him down with a Hurricane Rana. Jey speared Gunther and covered him for a near fall. Jey waited for Gunther then to stand up, super kicked him, and he speared Gunther again and hit him with an Uso splash, and that was your moment, right? That's your moment. And even admittedly myself, there was a small, very small, infinitesimally, I have to say that slowly, or otherwise I'll sound like a fool. A very small piece of me that believed, maybe, I don't know, right? That's what I'm looking for. That's all I look for. That was all the expectation I had for that match. Could they give me that just small moment in time where I thought, wait, I don't know. It's probably not going to be, but you don't know. That's all I was asking for. And they gave it to me with that moment. Now, what would really help those moments is if you don't have kickouts of finishes for a long time. Yes, we had a kick out of a finish here with Gunther kicking out, but Gunther's a monster of a competitor. He's a guy that I would be okay with it doing that. But if just generally there wasn't this culture of pro wrestling where there's always kickouts of every finish all the time, multiple times per match, it would have meant even more that Gunther kicked out. But see how we're losing out of everyone kicking out of finishes all the time. When a moment like this happens, it's expected. It doesn't surprise you. It doesn't have the impact it could have if WWE would go back to establishing finishes as effing finishes. So, but nonetheless, still a good moment. And Jey went for another spear. Gunther countered it. Powerbomb. Another powerbomb. Covered him. 1, 2, 3. Good main event here. Again, nobody really believed, I don't think, Jey could win here. The most important thing is here, not only is it Gunther, it's the time of year. There's no chance here, Jey. Sorry. It would make no sense storyline-wise. But it definitely elevated Jey. He continues to be... his story when he finally wins will be that he's been in many championship matches. He hasn't been able to quite get over the hump. He hasn't been able to win the big one. That'll be his narrative going into whatever championship match he's finally actually going to win. That'll be the story. This will be one of the items in that video package that'll play when you have Jey leading, again, whoever it's going to be that he finally wins it from, this will be that narrative, right? It'll play into it that he just can't win. He so close, he just can't win, and then he'll win that night. So look out for that package whenever it does air, maybe in 2025, or maybe, but he could be looking at 2026. I don't know. So that was Saturday night's main event. Obviously a fun event, wrestling heavy. Many are calling it even a glorified house show. But I don't know about that. It certainly, Shawn Michaels doesn't show up on house shows, number one. You don't have those kinds of quality, championship matches at house shows. Again, I still put it in between a house show. I'm sorry, a televised event and a PLE. Not quite PLE, but a little bit above a house show, or I'm sorry, above a house show, above a televised event, kind of in that middle ground, that gray area. So, all right. Well, I didn't really talk about SmackDown that much. I'll talk about it a little bit since you had SmackDown Friday, Saturday night main event Saturday, obviously, and then tomorrow night's Raw. So, bing bang boom. A lot of wrestling coming, and then, my God, you have SmackDown, you have NXT, then you have Royal Rumble. The amount of wrestling content is just insane that they're going to be putting out over the next 7 days. So, I saw the promo from Cody on Kevin Owens, and we already talked about that a little bit from Saturday Night Main Event, but let's see. We had Motor City Machine Guns beat Pretty Deadly in 9.5 minutes. We had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven take on Michin and B-Fab in 3.5 minutes. We had Michin and B-Fab beat Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Carmelo Hayes was in Nick Aldis's office and waiting for the new acquisition to SmackDown. Damian Priest is that new guy. So that's that. We had let's see here. I'm not going to go through everything. If you want to hear the full SmackDown review, check out Amanda, who did a great job covering it on our Saturday morning show that we posted. So, all right. Rhea Ripley, Naomi, and Bianca took on Nia, Liv, and Candice LeRae. And this match was 12 minutes. And Liv, Candice, and Jax beat Bianca, Naomi, and Rhea. And the finish was Bianca hitting LeRae with the KOD. Liv rolled up Bianca with a crucifix pin for the victory. So, fine. I didn't watch all of it, I have to say. I watched the last 5 minutes. Fun match. I don't mind more of these women's tag team matches. Putting, former enemies in tag teams, potential future enemies. And it was also probably the latter here. Future enemies of Bianca and Rhea. Seeing those two. Please tell me you guys see maybe the writing on the wall here. Bianca and Rhea. WrestleMania. It's how we've not done this yet. Both women are healthy. Both women need opponents. It has to be Belair winning the Rumble. I really believe that. Now, there are multiple paths on the way to the main event of WrestleMania for the women and the men. But Bianca winning, I think would solidify her back in the minds of fans instantly. It would be a statement. They love their statements. Well, here would be a big one. A statement to the fans, hey, Bianca Belair is back. She's out of tag team, the tag team division. She's in a singles role where she freaking belongs. And she is in a great position to win it and face Rhea Ripley. I think it's perfect. Now, yes, you have a returning Charlotte. I haven't really talked much about her. I'm going to in a minute here. But sure, you have Charlotte. You have some other big names in there. But I don't, as many of us have said many times, Charlotte, even though she's been gone for 5.5 years now, she doesn't need to win the belt. Nobody wants her to win the belt. And what we saw in the promo video on SmackDown, I said this in my X feed, which, by the way, follow me at the WWE podcast. She left with a knee injury, and she came back with a new face. And she was out forever. Well, now we know why she was out forever. It could have been a combination of things, right? She could have just, WWE must have might not have had creative for her. She could have just been enjoying her time off. But more than likely, it wasn't just her knee. Her knee probably healed within 2 weeks of her surgery. I mean, she healed seemingly so damn fast. Well, based on, I'm not a physical therapist, not a doctor, but she looked like she was progressing incredibly quick just 2 weeks after her surgery. And I'm thinking, oh my God, she's going to make a record recovery, a record time back. And it was just month after month after month of me predicting she's coming back. And I'm like, what did they do? Give her did they amputate her leg and give her a prosthetic? That's what I was saying on the show. You guys heard me. Well, no, that wasn't the case. They were working on another part of her body that really I didn't think needed any, and that was her face. Now, here's where I'm sure some of you are going to say, body shaming or how dare you? Here's what I'll say. When you're a public figure, and you willingly put public videos and pictures out on social media that millions of people can see, you automatically assume the risk of criticism. You just do. You may not like it, but that's what you assume automatically, whether or not you overtly say that you do. It's in a unspoken contract when you do this. So she doesn't look right. Now she's done lip fillers, and you can tell she's done a little Botox here and there. This was like a facelift. I feel like she's taking cues from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like carved off someone's face and then just stitched it on hers. I'm not saying they did a butcher job. I'm not even saying it looks like horrific, like I can't look at her. I'm not saying it even looks funny. I'm not. She just doesn't look right. She doesn't look natural, and I'm sure she doesn't care about that. Obviously, she spent a lot of money on to do whatever she's doing. But I'll say this just generally: no one that has ever gotten any facial work done to make them look younger ever looks better, because it never seems authentic ever. I don't care. It doesn't matter what celebrity pays for the best plastic surgeon in the world. It never, ever, ever looks right. Never. It looks phony. It's distracting. It never comes out the way that you hope it does if you're the patient. Again, this is me and my own opinions. This is just a general statement. I haven't seen anyone, and we've all seen thousands of photos of people altering their faces and breasts or whatever. Faces, though, are different. You just can't mess with it and make it look naturally younger. You can't do it. You look at it instantly, you go, yeah, something that's not right. That's fake. Like we all know as people, we just look at it and go, yeah, there's a lot of work done. Yet they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases to get this work done that everyone's going to know looks like there was work done. I don't know. I understand. Look, it's her body. I don't care. You want to alter your face? Look, fine. But you can't expect me, if I have an opinion about it, to only say something nice about it. I don't like it. Does it diminish her in-ring ability or her legacy? No. She's one of the greatest women's champions of all time. She came from one of the greatest wrestling families of all time. She is a wrestling legend in the women's division. No question. She could retire today and she's in the Hall of Fame instantly. Bam. But every time I see her, she's got more and more work done. And, if she wants to continue to try to appear younger, then hey, do whatever you want. I don't care. Like nobody wants to age gracefully anymore. There's this fear of aging that is overtaking our culture generally. And this is probably a topic for another show. But I will say, without going too off the rails of not talking about wrestling, this fear of aging it's unfortunate. It's manifesting itself in Charlotte Flair. And it's not my thing. I don't like it, but what the hell? So she's coming back. So there's something you guys can take and run with and comment on Spotify and whatever, like, oh, your body shaming. What do you know? Look, They're a public figure. You put public figures out of a public figure, you own the right to get any opinion that comes your way. It may not be nice, and I'm not like tearing her down, like it's just, I'm making my personal opinion known. I think before she did any of this stuff, I thought she was an attractive woman. I really did. I still in some ways think she kind of is. I do, and it's just I don't like seeing it. It never looks right. I'll just end it there. It never looks right. Never looks natural. You can spend years and years and years with the best doctors and the best plastic surgeons. It never will ever match your youth. Never. And they try. Boy, they try. So we've got Charlotte Flair, or someone pretending to be Charlotte Flair, who's coming back at the Royal Rumble, and it'll be good to see her. No, it's fine. Good to see Charlotte. She's a big star. I really don't think even when she comes back, she's going to be back full-time. She's seemingly on the back end of her career. She's not a young woman anymore in terms of just the scope of wrestling, right? In terms of wrestling, she's not young anymore. And there's no need to have the company be put on her back. I think she's going to play a Roman Reigns schedule, and she should. Especially if she's going to be a babyface, you don't want to see her all the time because fans will organically turn on Charlotte. It's built into our DNA to not like Charlotte because she plays the heel much better. And so I think that you're going to have her get a good reaction upon return. Maybe if she's revealed as Jade's attacker, fine. We'll play along. Jade versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. If they want to go there, cool, fine. I'm down, but I don't need her in the championship match. The moment that they put Charlotte in a championship picture is when fans start to go, they groan. It doesn't matter how long she spent away from it. She's held it so long that it doesn't matter how long she hasn't held it anymore. Fans will just go, oh, God, here we go. Like, that's just what we'll all do. That's how much she held it before. It feels like, at least from our perception. Was she's a 14-time women's champion or something around there. It's a lot. It's a lot of Charlotte as champion. And a lot of Charlotte being injected into championship matches for big PLEs as champion or challenging for a championship for many years. So when you tally all that up together, I'd keep her out of the championship picture. You can tease it, but don't go there unless your goal is to turn her heel, in which case maybe they go there and they want her heel. But even if that's the case, I would not put Charlotte Flair in as a heel champion because we've been there, done that. A lot of fans will say they're bored with it right off the bat. I do believe that. So it's a young woman's game. It's a young man's game. It is. You have big stars come in and they have their fun and they, like big stars. I have nothing against that. But in terms of the day-to-day grind and who they're going to put their weight of the company on, it's not going to be the older men and women. It just should, and it shouldn't be. It's just the business. Nothing wrong with that. So Charlotte Flair will be back, hopefully on a part-time basis. And, or at least whoever's playing Charlotte will be back on a part-time basis. All right. So before things break down any further and I get some nasty comments, which is fine, bring them on. It's all good. It's expected. But anyway, with that said, if you want to join us on Patreon and go ad free, you've heard a lot of ads throughout the show. Patreon.com/WWE podcast is the perfect place to go. You can also go to Apple Podcasts and do the same, or Spotify and do the same thing over there and get an ad-free experience. So lots of places to go. A lot of stuff this week. Preview and prediction for the Royal Rumble coming your way. We have mailbag coming your way. We have maybe some special shows in between, some additional shows given the news. Some YouTube videos will be going up, so check us out on YouTube at the WWE Podcast there. Lots of places to check our content out as we are going to ramp up for a massive weekend with obviously the Royal Rumble, one of the most favorite of WWE fans. I really would say if you were going to run a poll for their favorite PLE of the year, I think Royal Rumble would win. WrestleMania would come in second, and maybe Survivor Series would come in third, SummerSlam fourth. That's how I would view it. But all right, thank you everybody for listening. Get ready. It's Royal Rumble week, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.